now we are doing the other organelles separately. So now the next organelles are mitochondria and chloroplast. We are doing it simultaneously. See, mitochondria, the main function of mitochondria is the site of cellular respiration. So what do you mean by cellular respiration? It is what? Oxidation. It is actually oxidation of glucose, or you can say material, or particularly if I'll write, it is glucose, so to release the energy. Okay, release energy. This is called cellular respiration. See, if we take oxygen inside and breathe out the CO2 outside, what we are doing, right? This process is called breathing. It is not respiration, right? Respiration means what? The CO2 which we took inside, that CO2 goes inside our body cells. It reaches to our body cells, right? And the nutrients which we eat, okay, it enter into our stomach. From stomach, blood takes those nutrients and again distribute it to body cells, right? So basically body cells is getting these nutrients through the stomach with the help of blood, and body is also getting oxygen from lungs with the help of again blood. Here blood is the vehicle, it is a transport vehicle, okay, it is helping transporting the things. So ultimately body cells got the nutrients as well as O2, oxygen. Body cell further, these nutrients are digested, or you can say further broke down with the help of oxygen, and ultimately they releases the energy. And this is how our body cells gain the energy, and that's why we are able to do so many activities. Okay, if our body cell didn't get the oxygen, then our body cells start dying and we won't be having any energy. We won't be able to do any kind of activities as well. Got it? So that's what mitochondria do. It helps in synthesis of energy molecule. One more thing, this energy is given in the form of ATP, right? Suppose for rupees we have some symbols, right? And for energy also, it is known as energy currency. So ATP is the form of energy. In this form only energy is being synthesized. Here ATP full form is what? Adenosine triphosphate. This you have, yes, please remember this term, full form. ATP full form is adenosine triphosphate. Okay. Now let's go further. What is the role of chloroplast? So what chloroplast is doing? It is the site of photosynthesis. Now you must be knowing, in photosynthesis what actually is done? Food is being formed. Okay, food is being formed by the plants. So one is making food, another is burning that food to releases the energy. So this is how they both are connected. Now, so both means what? We are talking about both mitochondria and chloroplast. They convert the solar energy, or you can say the sunlight, into chemical energy. Means what? We are converting it into glucose. So chloroplast, it convert the sunlight or solar energy into the chemical energy. Now there's one more thing, because these two organelles are slightly differ from the others one. If you recall all the previous one organelle, you will see all organelles are bound by single membrane only. But there's a special feature in this one organelle, they both are double membrane bound organelle. Okay, so why is this so? Let's have a look. There's a theory which is given, evolutionary origin of mitochondria and chloroplast. Okay, there's some evolutionary origin, and it is very important. See, it is very important one here. So you have to, you have to do it very carefully. It is very important. Okay, let's do. What is this? There's a one theory which is called endosymbiont theory, right? What does it mean? These two organelles, where are they present? They are present inside a eukaryotic cell, right? Either plant or animal, they are present in the eukaryotic cell. But inside this mitochondria and chloroplast, they are behaving like a own cell. They are doing certain function its own. It doesn't depend on the eukaryotic cell. So both are similar with bacteria. Their structure is very much similar with the bacteria. Though they both are present in a eukaryotic cell, still they are very much similar with the prokaryotic cell, because bacteria is a prokaryotic. Right? Why is it so? What happened exactly? See what happened. There are some ancestor of eukaryotic cell, or you can say like long time ago, some eukaryotic cell, what it did, it engulfed an oxygen using non-photosynthetic prokaryotic cell. Okay, just remember it. What it do? There's suppose there's a eukaryotic cell. This is the eukaryotic cell, and there are some prokaryotic cell. These are prokaryotic cell. Okay. One cell was behaving like a mitochondria, we just can assume. Okay, and one was behaving like a chloroplast, right? They both were independent living. But what it do? Eukaryote engulfed these two cells. So these two cells comes inside this eukaryotic, and but still these cells were doing its own function, because outside this they were independently living. Now once inside they were doing certain function its own, and for rest of the function it depends on the eukaryotic cell. So they have their own existence inside this eukaryotic cell as a prokaryotic one. That's why it is called the endosymbiont theory, right? So what are the special feature of these two organelles? Why we are saying they are differ? Both have two membrane. Okay, both are double membrane bound organelle. This is the special feature. Now another thing is what? Both have ribosome, which is 70S. It's not 705. Make it correct. It is 70S. It is 70S. Okay. 1 minute. 70S. Okay. So if you remember, I have told you about ribosome earlier, that ribosome is of two type. One is called 70S, present in prokaryote, and 80S is present in eukaryote. I told you that time, right? So now it is the thing. Actually the cell is eukaryote. It is having 80S ribosome, but inside this eukaryote, these both organelles were having 70S ribosome, because they were actually the prokaryotic cell. So they were having 70S. So still inside the eukaryotic cell, still they are having the 70S ribosome, and they have their own ribosome. If you notice, ER, Golgi bodies, lysosome, vacuole, none of the organelle have their own ribosome. They are totally depend on the nucleus for its whole function. But in case of these two organelles, they have their own ribosome. So they are able to synthesize some protein their own. They are not totally depend on the nucleus for their function. So what is another thing? They have the circular DNA as well. If you will see in ER, Golgi, no one was having any DNA. DNA was only present in the nucleus. But in these organelles, they have the DNA as well, because they were earlier the prokaryotic cells, so they were having their DNA, right? So still also they have they are having their DNA molecule. They have their own ribosome. They synthesize its own protein and ribosome, and that's why they are considered the autonomous. They grow and reproduce its own. Okay, that's how they are called autonomous. But the thing is what? Because they are present inside the eukaryotic cell, somehow for little bit things it depends on the eukaryote. Though it is doing its own, they are growing its own, they are reproducing its own, but still they are present in the eukaryote, so depend on the eukaryotes. That's why they are called, instead of autonomous, they are called semi-autonomous. Semi-autonomous organelle. Okay. Yeah. Why we are saying semi-autonomous? Completely they are not independently living, because they are still present inside the eukaryote. That's why they are considered semi-autonomous, not autonomous. Okay. So this is what theory was told over here. Okay. So you can see it is a you can see this is the mitochondria. you can see mitochondria, it enter. So what is happening? Engulfing of oxygen using non-photosynthetic prokaryote which become a mitochondria. So now this mitochondria enter inside this eukaryotic cell, right? Same was about this chloroplast as well. So here also engulfing of photosynthetic prokaryote which now consider as a chloroplast. Okay, photosynthetic prokaryote, this is considered chloroplast. Non-photosynthetic prokaryote considered as a mitochondria. Okay, because it is not able to synthesize its food own, but chloroplast able to synthesize its food own. That's why they are considered photosynthetic. Photosynthetic means what? Those are able to synthesize their food own. Okay, they synthesize their food own. Okay, fine. So this is how this is how these two organelles are present. Okay, that was a theory about their origin, how they originated and why they are differ inside a eukaryote. Now let's have a look of detailed structure of mitochondria. Okay, so in mitochondria, first of all, its shape, it is basically cylindrical in shape. It is cylindrical, or it is called sausage shape. Okay, or cylindrical, like this one, right? It has two membrane. So if we'll draw, there's a one membrane, outer membrane. Let me show over here. It has two membrane. The outer membrane is smooth and the inner membrane has some infolding, okay, which enhance the surface area, which is called cristae. So how it is arranged, let me tell you. This is the mitochondria. The outer surface is smooth, it is continuous, but inner surface is infolded inside, like this one. Okay, yeah. So these inner folding enhance the surface area, because if we open out this folding, it will become a very large surface. Okay, and these infolding actually called cristae, which I told you. Okay. The main function of cristae is what I told you. It is responsible for cellular respiration. So cristae is the site, I'll write over here. Cristae is the site for cellular respiration. Actually, cellular respiration is taken over here. Okay. Now, inside this, the liquid is present inside this one, which is called matrix. Okay, so there are two compartments are getting formed. One compartment is this one. This is called this one, intermembrane space. Okay, and another compartment is mitochondrial matrix. This one space. Okay, so there are two. Okay. Yeah. Now one more thing, mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes are also present over here. So one DNA is present over here. This is the DNA. Okay, besides of this, there are ribosomes are just spread in this fluid. This is ribosome, and ribosome is what? 70S ribosome, right? And they are more in number in actively dividing cell. The cell which is suppose we are doing very hard function, I mean, like we are doing very lot of exercise. Okay, our muscles is doing a lot of exercise, so that time our muscle will having large number of mitochondria. Got it? It will have large number because our muscles is actively generating the energy, so they need more number of mitochondria so that it can generate more amount of energy molecule, right? So this is actually a structure of mitochondria. Here it is given intermembrane space, which I have shown over here. Outer membrane, inner membrane, which has the infolding, you can see, which are called cristae. Inside the material is matrix. Some free ribosomes are also present in this one. Okay, see diagram and TEM of mitochondria. So you must be remembering TEM, transmission electron microscope. So it is giving the internal structure of that organelle. Okay, let's go further about the chloroplast. Actually, it is a part of plastid. There's an organelle which is called plastid. It is basically of three types. One is called the chloroplast, plus another one is chromoplast, and the third one is leucoplast. Okay. So chloroplast is basically which has green pigment. Okay. Chloroplast having yellow and orange pigment. Okay, one. And the main role of chromoplast to give color to fruits and flowers. So whatever the fruits and flowers colors, it's because of chromoplast. It impart the color. Okay, yellow fruit, or suppose carrot, right? Carrot is orange in color, so that color is because of the chromoplast. Okay. Leucoplast is what? It is a colorless plastid. It is a colorless plastid because it has no pigment. So main role is of storage. Its main role is storage of food. Like for example, starch. It stores starch like in potatoes. Okay, so if it stores starch, then leucoplast is called amyloplast. Okay, if it stores protein, then it is called alluroplast.
Okay.
And if it store oil, then it is called elioplast. Okay, these are the further types of leucoplast. Depends on what kind of food it is stored. So now let's come back to our chloroplast, which we are doing in detail. So chloroplast is a type of plastid, as I told you. Now it has the green pigment. This green pigment is known as chlorophyll. That you have to remember. This green pigment. Its shape is like, it is spherical. It is oval as well. It is lens shape as well. It is ribbon like. There's so many shapes are there, of different shapes it is present. Again, it is a double membrane. Okay, now if we'll draw a chloroplast, so as I told you, it is a double membrane structure. So this is the double membrane. Okay, inside again the liquid present inside one. Okay, again there's a two compartment. This one is called the intermembrane space, right? Like in mitochondria also we told it intermembrane space. So this is intermembrane space is present, and inside this one liquid is called, here it is called stroma. In case of mitochondria it was called matrix, but here it is called stroma. Okay, now what is present over here, if we'll see further, just a minute. Okay, so if we'll see further, there are certain sac like structure like this one, like this. Okay, so what I told you, this sac like structure, individual, this sac like structure, it is actually called thylakoid. This is called thylakoid. Okay, here it is written thylakoid. What is the flattened interconnected sacs? Okay, so this is thylakoid, and there are piles of thylakoid, okay, which are stacked over each other, and this whole pile of thylakoid is called grana. It's called grana. Okay, granum is a singular, and grana is a plural. So basically it is granum, and so many grana are there, which is called grana. Okay, one more thing, these all grana interconnected with each other with this structure, it is called stroma lamella. Okay, got it? Now, so again one more thing is stroma is there, and in stroma it has its own DNA, like this, its own DNA. Some ribosomes are also present inside this stroma. So this is DNA, this is ribosome. Okay, right?
Yeah.
What is the function? Its function is to do the photosynthesis. Means what? Synthesis of its own food. Its own food.
Yeah.
How? With the help of sunlight, it makes its own food. Right? As I told you, 3 type of plast. I told you earlier, right? So this is the structure of a chloroplast. If you have a look of this one, so you can see ribosome. These are the membrane. One is outer membrane and inner membrane. So inner and outer membrane. These are whole stack of thylakoid, which is called granum. Okay, this is called granum. Individual, this individual is known as thylakoid. Okay, in between two membrane, this space is called intermembrane space. There are certain DNA as well. Okay, ribosome as well. So this is the structure of a chloroplast. So I hope you got it. Again, few questions related with this one.